Let's talk about the new moon because I wanted to get back into it. August 12th is the new moon. And as a reminder, during the new moon, this is a time for new intentions. It's a time when you should be thinking about launching new ideas, generating new ways of life, or taking new action in life. And how do we tie that into career? I really want to dig into the questions that I like to ask myself during the new moon. Those are my most reflective moments in the month where I say, okay, I need a reset, or I need to meditate, or I need to reflect, or I need to really ground myself, whatever it is. What's going on? Where's the moon at? How do I need to attach myself to the moon? And what do I need to do so that I can either unstick myself or help myself get through whatever I'm dealing with at that time? Okay, welcome back to Dear Career. This is a podcast for women who are doing everything right, but still feel invisible. I'm Tiana, and I'm here to talk to you about what it actually takes to feel confident enough to ask for the career and the life that you deserve. Now, today, we are going to get back into some moon stuff. So join me as we talk about the new moon and August, and what I ask myself during the new moon. Okay, I got a lot of good feedback about our June and the moon, and it was so much fun doing all the moon stuff from June. I did want to bring it back before we get into like a full month of moon cycle stuff. Coming out of the Reddit files, I wanted to address that there are just a lot of themes when it comes to some career confusion that I'm sensing. In Reddit, there's just a lot of posts about career confusion and overall struggles when it comes to negotiation and overwhelm. And so I thought actually bringing in the moon with this would be great. And it'd be a great time to visit the moon and tie that in really quick. So we'll do that today. And I think I'm going to do a couple of moon stuff for this month to close this out. And then we will come back to the Reddit files often, but I want to incorporate more of negotiation topics, money topics, because that seems to be needed. And I'm going to talk about that actually today too, because I think that'll be important. And there are going to be some more specialized women's topics that I want to get into that are more focused on women in career that I think would be important. Actually, I think last episode I talked about doing an episode for like a pep talk on salary negotiation. So that was something that I think somehow came up in one of the Reddit posts. So I think that would be a good one to address. There's so much in there. It just gives us so much fuel to talk about. We are going to just dive deep. Again, I have like all of these topics that I want to talk about and get into and circle kind of through the year and figure out what we're doing there. But let's talk about the new moon because I wanted to get back into it. August 12th is the new moon. And as a reminder, during the new moon, this is a time for new intentions. It's a time when you should be thinking about launching new ideas, taking action, generating new ways of life, or taking new action in life. And how do we tie that into career? So we're not going to have too long of an episode because I really want to dig into the questions that I like to ask myself during the new moon. Those are my most reflective moments in the month where I say, okay, I need a reset, or I need to meditate, or I need to reflect, or I need to really ground myself, whatever it is. What's going on? Where's the moon at? How do I need to attach myself to the moon? And what do I need to do so that I can either unstick myself or help myself get through whatever I'm dealing with at that time? And so I thought it'd be good to kind of get in my mind, but also just have it be just so career focused, since that is mostly what it seems like a lot of you are dealing with. I figured out that there are kind of three key areas. Before we get into the three key areas, I wanted to bring a little reminder for us. At the beginning of the year, it's been a while, and I don't have the book here, but and actually, I think it's just on my YouTube. So if you haven't been on the YouTube channel and checked out my New Year book reset, I usually do like books that I read in the new year. And there's a couple of books that there's one book actually that I haven't fully gotten through. But, and by the way, I'm reading all the time. So these are books there's a couple books that I just like to start the new year out with. The Magic is one of them. The Four Agreements is another one. And I just like to reset my year to remind myself. In June is also, you're halfway through the year, and I like to kind of remind myself of some of those things. But I also found this picture when I moved and I was unpacking. If you're not on the YouTube, I have this picture of the Four Agreements. And it's such a good reminder. I think it's really actually perfect for this new moon, because the Four Agreements, our reminder for us is to be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personal. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. And so when we're thinking about what we're doing with starting new ideas and taking new actions and setting new ways of life, even, it doesn't have to be perfect. But you do want to be impeccable with your word for yourself. You do want to not take anything personal, because how does that serve you? When you're taking everything personal, what is that doing for you? You don't want to make assumptions, because again, how is that serving you? How is that helping you? And you also want to do your best, because doing your best is really going to serve you, and it's only going to do what it needs to do for you. So I thought that was a good reminder, entering the new moon questions that we're going to get into. But yeah, I wanted to point that out because I realized I put this on my desk as a reminder to myself, but I didn't really key anybody into this. And I thought it'd be good to point that out here and call attention to that. And just do a little reminder for myself and everyone else. But also, let's go ahead and break down the three areas I feel like are key when it comes to questions around career that I like to ask myself. So the categories are career confusion. Then we have career overwhelm, and then we have career and money. Now, there could be more categories that we break out later, like career development, career advancement in general. There's lots of areas that we can break out. But right now, I want to focus on these three areas for this new moon. And what I'm sensing and what I'm gathering is there is a lot of career confusion. That's why I have that at the top of the list. So there's a lot of career confusion right now in general. Career confusion, like you're in the middle of your career, you're at the beginning of your career, you're career confused because you don't know what to do with your career. You're starting out your career and you're confused because of that. You don't know if you should stay in your job or leave a job. There's so much confusion in general. So one of the questions I like to ask when I'm feeling career confused, especially during a new moon, this is a perfect time to ask yourself. Again, new moon is time for launching new ideas, new ways of life, and you're just launching. So you want to ask yourself, what clarity do I need to gain to help me make my next career move? Now, this can be a question that you're going to combine with some reflective journaling. Maybe you want to combine it with a meditation. But this is a great question to ask yourself. What clarity do I need to gain to help me make my next career move? Doesn't mean that you need to make a true career pivot or start a new job. It really just means like, what's your next step? What action are you going to take? Because you might be ready for action and the new moon invites us to take action, but maybe you don't know what that is because you don't have clarity. So this question is perfect for that, especially when you're sitting in career confusion. Okay, I have another question for you to ask during this career confusion time. Again, new moon is good for launching new ideas, launching in general a new chapter in life. So you're going to ask yourself, what can I do to help clear my mind and make way for my next career move? Again, asking for that clarity, but what can I do to help clear my mind and make way for my next career move? This is a perfect question. When you're career confused, it invites you to sit with your confusion, get some clarity, and combine it with a reflective journaling, meditation. Just sit with this question to make space in your mind and find some clarity on what that looks like. The quiet time to reflect in this moment really can allow you so much. When you're career confused, a lot of times there's so many things going on in your mind might be racing. And if you're dealing with anything else personally, and if there's anything else going on in your life, if you have just any at-home dynamics, if you're dealing with anxiety, if you're dealing with any mental health elements that you're struggling with, if you're a new parent, anything that's happening with you personally, all of the noise is just adding to your career confusion. So the time that you can to spend in the quiet really help with that clarity, because it could be an actual full career move. It could be just an action item that you need to do within your job itself, but you need the time to make space in your mind to figure that out. Okay, now let's switch gears and we're going to go into the career overwhelm. These are very connected. The career confusion can be very connected to the career overwhelm. Career confusion can be overwhelming. And again, if you are dealing with anything personal, anxiety, stress, depression, anything that's coming up for you personally, the career overwhelm is just going to be adding to whatever you're dealing with personally. Now, I see a lot of career overwhelm when it comes to new promotions, a new job, burnout in general. You've been at a job for a really long time and you just have so much on your plate. So the first question I would ask for you to ask yourself, or a question that I like to ask myself, is what habits do I need to build that help keep my mind grounded and my energy protected? Again, what habits do I need to build that help keep my mind grounded and my energy protected? This one, I have asked myself this in overwhelm because sometimes my mind can be, as you know, I deal with anxiety and my mind can be very fast paced. And in my postpartum life, the 0 to 100 in my postpartum anxiety is very intense. It is, it can be some days and some weeks. Sometimes it is just spinning. And so it doesn't help me to focus on work. It's hard to focus on work when my mind is spiraling, and I can't focus on work when I'm thinking about my baby sometimes. But I also know it's important to protect my energy, because if I don't, I won't have energy to focus on work. So those things are really important, and I need to work and figure out habits that will help me in these moments, because otherwise I will get overwhelmed, and overwhelm for me won't be helpful for anybody. It's not going to be helpful for my job. It's not going to be helpful for my baby. It's not going to be helpful for my at-home life at all. It won't be helpful for anybody I'm working with. If you're a manager, it's not going to help your direct reports. It's not going to help your employees. It's not going to help your clients. So it's really important to make sure that you're figuring out how you can protect your mind, protect your energy. Okay, my next question that I would ask myself in career overwhelm would be, what do I need to clear physically or mentally to release what no longer serves me? Again, what do I need to clear physically or mentally to release what no longer serves me? This can be another question that is used in combination with a meditation a journaling prompt. It can be something that you're just on a walk asking yourself this question. If you haven't made time to ask yourself this question and even think about it, you're not even helping yourself there. So just by asking yourself this question can help clear up a few things. Are there things that physically, like sometimes for me, I get overwhelmed. And I have a little bit of this is, I know this is me and I know it's my anxiety and it's the type of anxiety I do have, but I can get very overwhelmed by stuff. So if my desk is not clean, I'm overwhelmed. If there's certain things, I think I've talked about this before, in the kitchen, if the kitchen has dishes in the sink, that might not be a problem for most people, but for me, I can't deal with it. I get very triggered. I struggle with that. So what is it that maybe physically that you need to clear? I mean, this can be anything for you that makes sense, or mentally to release what no longer serves you. So mentally could be also negative thoughts. Mentally could be anxiety, like I'm dealing with. Mentally could be an actual mental health illness that you're dealing with. It could be depression. What is no longer serving you that you need to address? So thinking about this question in general is something that would be very helpful. Okay, my last question here in this category of career overwhelm is, where can I set intentions that help me find balance? Now, again, remember, this new moon is inviting us and asking us to launch new ideas, take action, start new ways of life. So where can I set intentions that help me find balance is really taking action or finding new habits that you might be able to build, setting something up, like setting a new intention. So where can I set intentions that help me find balance? Whether that's walking or maybe spending 15 minutes a day reading for fun. Maybe it's just having a cup of tea. Whatever you think makes sense for you that helps you find balance. For me, sometimes, especially these days, I just want to play with my baby at the end of the day. I find so much joy in just playing with him and just being a kid and hanging out. It's just those sweet moments give me so much life back after work. So that could be something that you find balance in. I don't know, whatever it is, but figuring out what that looks like. And this one I would say is maybe more of a question to just ask yourself. I think for me, I do try to ask myself questions like this in various parts of my life. Where am I missing balance? Where do I need to set intentions for balance? Because balance can easily be off kiltered. You can easily get out of balance, and to find that balance again is really important. Okay, my last couple questions I have here are really going to be for career and money. So for this new moon, we are going to focus on taking action here, being a little bold, because new moon is for new ideas. So we are going to invite something new here. And these are something that I like to push myself a little bit during the new moon. If I can, and I'm remembering that that's the time to do that. If I can, I try to do this, and I do try to be consistent. But the first question I have here is, where do I need to be bold when it comes to my career? And this, for you, when it comes to career and money, I would recommend, especially if you're in a time of negotiation and it's, you're needing to ask for more money, you're needing to advocate for yourself. Where do you need to be bold and advocate for yourself? So really sit with this. Where can you take action to advocate for yourself? This is, again, a push a little bit. It's going to be a little bit scary if you're following along. And I'm going to link the episode because I don't want you to forget. But remember, the negotiation part is not just about scripting. It's about your nervous system. So you want to be prepared and make sure that your nervous system is ready to respond when you're in that moment of fear. So addressing your nervous system can really help with your negotiation. And maybe I want to do a full episode about preparing for negotiation and setting your nervous system up. Maybe we dive a little deeper on that. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But my next question is, during the new moon, you're going to ask yourself, what money affirmations do I need to hear right now? This one I try my best to be consistent with because I'm constantly having to relearn my money habits. And this is, again, a childhood thing, growing up in a foster home and really just having poor ideas about money growing up, and just incorrect beliefs, money beliefs in general. I think as women, sometimes we grow up with beliefs about money, about ourselves because we're women. And so I definitely had a lot of that growing up. My mom had that. She passed that down to me. And I want to be very aware and try to address that and fix that. And so the money affirmations, I have to tell myself money loves me. And it's really hard. So I do try to do this consistently because I need reminding. And remember, we want to be impeccable with our word. And so money affirmations are a great way to be impeccable with our word. So what money affirmations do I need to hear right now? Because we're going to take action with this new moon. And we're setting these intentions up for ourselves this month. And also, this new moon is in the sign of Leo. And so Leo is asking us to be bold anyway. And so why not? Go out there, be bold with your money asking and affirmations. You can do it. And if you have fear, that's your nervous system. Check in with your nervous system and ask why. Okay, that is it. I don't want this episode to go on for too long because those questions were speedy to get through. Hopefully I can have some more episodes that are similar to this one as we go on through the months, but I hope you got a lot out of this. I am glad I'm able to share with you what's in my mind and some of the questions that I asked myself during the new moon. But a career-focused topic this month for new moon, I thought was perfect. So I'm glad I got to share that with you. But that's it for this episode. If this helped you feel a little bit more grounded and a little bit more ready to ask for what you deserve, then please share it with someone who you think needs to hear it too. And give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.